WWE announced officially today WWE Money in the Bank will be in New Orleans, September 6th, 2026, at the Smoothie King Center. It's going to be all the way in September. It is now the September Classic, and I am all for it because I don't need the Money in the Bank to come almost immediately after WrestleMania. I need it to be a fall event. I need it to be a so we're not even thinking about WrestleMania. We're not even thinking about what happened at WrestleMania. I want this to be the season premiere of WWE is the Money in the Bank. And I don't like Money in the Bank. I don't care for Money in the Bank. But if you're going to use it, in my opinion, it should be a September event. Get your year started properly. Reset with this event.
Yeah, I don't know about September. I guess it really doesn't matter. I mean, they have the Money in the Bank contract for a year, no matter when you win it, June, July, September. It's weird that it's now September. I mean, you're taking away at least the immediate SummerSlam cash in. That's what we had last year. We had the cash in at Evolution. We had the cash in at SummerSlam. Those would be gone this year. It feels like now, all right, you might get a Survivor Series cash in at the earliest, but otherwise we might see like more Mania cash ins. I don't need these people holding these contracts until then. So
I mean, it's a full year. You could do a SummerSlam cash in just as easily.
but I don't want the contract somebody to have it for that long. At least if they win it in July and cash in August, we're good, fine. But if they're gonna win it in September and cash in August, no, I don't want them to have it that long. That's why Survivor Series might make sense of when they cash it in, but otherwise they might be holding it for a while, and the gimmick kind of sucks.
I mean, I agree with you that the gimmick sucks. I said as much earlier, but I'd rather it be in September than have it in July. July is like we're getting into the SummerSlam season, and then they always hit this lull. We're all talking about it right now. There's a lull in WWE programming on a creative end. There's a lull in AEW programming from a creative end. We talk about it, and all of TNA is currently in a lull for the last year. But the point is, all here, you can do this in a way that re-energizes or at least gets people invested in the Money in the Bank and WWE coming into the fall, because Survivor Series ain't doing that anymore. War Games is now just two thrown together teams on either side going after nothing. There are no stakes in War Games. There hasn't been a War Games stake, and it should be something, but they haven't done it. So Money in the Bank being in the fall at least gets you it adds some element to the booking that you can use, and whether you like it or not, it's different, and I'll accept that much.
But they could do it in July, and they could have just held the Money in the Bank until the fall. So it's not like it changes things that much. It's a different event in September. That's all it is.
Forget the long-term ramifications of having Money in the Bank. It's the match itself. It's
cool. Qualifying matches going into the Money in the Bank. That's all it is.
It's the match itself. It's Money in the Bank match. It's pacing out that ladder match. And I get it. If this gets rid of War Games next year, because it's not as like this is the what I'm trying to say is, if this match comes in and it's September, and then come November, it's just Survivor Series, no more War Games, I would be okay with that.
They could have pushed back King of the Ring. I know they like to do the King of the Ring winner gets the title match at SummerSlam, so maybe that's why they didn't do it. But they could have pushed back King of the Ring and done King of the Ring later into the fall, and then they get the match at Survivor Series instead of SummerSlam, and kept Money in the Bank there. I think that was also an issue, and this mitigates it because you're pushing back Money in the Bank now, so it's a similar concept of just pushing one of them back. But you have King of the Ring. It's like, oh, you do this big tournament, and the winner gets the match at SummerSlam, and so that's how you're building that. On top of, between the end of this tournament and SummerSlam, you also got Money in the Bank where somebody can get a title shot immediately. You're right that there is the lull in the fall because you have Survivor Series, and then that a lot of times does feel very thrown together. The champion is often in that match, so you're not really getting a championship match at least one of the champions. So you're not getting a championship match at Survivor Series. So you need something championship related for the fall, and this was their way to do it. They're going to do Money in the Bank in the fall. So you have something like, look, I have the briefcase. And so you have the champion's orbit being a little bit more important in the fall. Maybe we will finally get the Money in the Bank cash in during War Games. We thought that was a possibility last year with it, and it didn't come to fruition. But now maybe we'll actually see that.
You know what? This whole conversation doesn't even matter. You know why it's next year in September? World Cup 2026 runs June 11th to July 19th, which is prime when they be doing Money in the Bank. And the reason why I bring this up is because On Location, who partners with WWE and is owned by TKO, they are very much involved with World Cup stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they said, you know what, let's get one show off the docket, make things a little easier. FIFA World Cup is much more important to us from a financial standpoint. And we already owed New Orleans this show. We already announced that it was happening. It's going to September. Easy as that. Because normally the September PLE, what is it? What did we just have? We had Australia, Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
So it could be just as easy as this. It's 1 year that they're going to do it, and that's it. And it's all because of World Cup 26.
It's possible, and maybe it works out where they like Money in the Bank more in September, and so they just keep it here. You know, I mean, technically the September pay-per-view was WrestlePalooza. That's the other thing, is they tried to, before WrestlePalooza, I mean, Ari Emanuel is saying, like, we think this can be on the level of SummerSlam and WrestleMania and Royal Rumble. We think this can be one of our big tentpole events. And now you're doing WrestlePalooza in September. Maybe, like, is that getting shifted around? I understand that Ari said this because he was trying to hype it up as the first event on ESPN and trying to make it seem like the biggest deal in the world, and then it ended up falling flat. And now I don't think WrestlePalooza is going to be like this major event moving forward. But if you're telling everybody, oh, WrestlePalooza is so big, that's your September show. Now you're doing Money in the Bank in September. It's like, all right, well, when are you doing WrestlePalooza? And is it really that important? Probably not.
Yeah, that's a good point. WrestlePalooza was not a very popular event. Time to go back to Saudi Arabia. That's what we're going to do.
C+ event.
See, it was a C+ event. I did not see myself enjoying it very much. But there it is. I think everything that we're saying kind of lends credence to where it should be. I think it's going to be fine in the fall. I don't think it's going to stay though, unless they see like this huge spike in terms of not just cash but also interest in the product. Then they'll probably move it back to the summertime, and this whole conversation will be moot, and it will have been because of the World Cup conversation. Either way.